Okay, guys, you don't ever pull fire alarms in public without a fire. If you have permission to pull the alarm for a fire drill or a test, then you can pull the fire alarm. Or if you have your own fire alarm set up at home, then you can pull it. But if it's not for those scenarios, don't pull it. If you're pulling it for fun, just you think it's funny, you don't ever do that. Because that is considered a felony. And you're putting other people's lives at risk. Say there's a real emergency somewhere else, and you pull the fire alarm. Like, I gotta pull the fire alarm. Like, shh, eh, 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 oh! That was fun. What you did right there is cause the fire department to respond to your false alarm, and they could not be at the real emergency because they have to respond to your false alarm, and people are dying. So that's why you don't ever pull fire alarms unless you really detect a fire. You never ever want to put other people's lives at risk. If you have permission to pull the alarm, pull it. If you have permission to test the alarm, you can pull it. If you have your own alarm, you can pull it. And if there's a real fire, you can pull it to alert people to evacuate the building immediately. But if you're doing it for fun, that is not okay. These are life safety devices, not toys. I remember when I was in elementary school, there were other kids that pulled the fire alarm. If you pull the fire alarm at school, you'll get in big trouble or even arrested. This is no joke. This is very serious stuff. So don't ever pull fire alarms in public without a fire. Only pull them if there is a fire. You only pull these things if there is a real emergency. Also, never tamper with fire alarm equipment. Never take the plate off the alarm, never paint the alarm, never screw or unscrew the alarm or take it off the wall or ceiling. Never take the strobe off the alarm, never disable the sound or the strobe. Never throw the alarm. Never punch the alarm, never smash the alarm. Never take the fire lettering off the alarm, or if your fire alarm is an EST Genesis, you don't ever cross out the image with the running man escaping from the fire. You never change the coding on the alarm. You never change the volume on the alarm. And you don't ever disable the alarm system. You don't ever do any of that. Only pull them if there's a real fire, and never ever tamper with fire alarm equipment, or else you're going to get in big trouble or even arrested. Because remember, if you tamper with the alarm, you're going to have to replace it. you're going to get fined quite a bit if you pull a false fire alarm or if you tamper with a fire alarm. So you don't ever do that. Only pull these things if there's a real emergency. If there's no emergency, do not pull these. If there's a real emergency, pull these. This will make a loud sound and the strobe light will flash really bright to alert people that the building is on fire and you must evacuate now. Never pull them when there is no fire. Absolutely not. I mean, I'm not responsible for your actions. Rather, you choose to pull a false fire alarm or tamper with fire alarms in any way. These are not toys. These are life safety devices. If my parents get a call from my teacher saying that I pulled a false fire alarm or tampered with the alarm, then I'm going to be in big trouble. So, I'm not going to ever do that. Because I'm smart. I'm in complete control whether or not I pull a false fire alarm or if I tamper with fire alarms. It's up to me to decide. But I'm going to be smart. I'm going to never pull the fire alarm unless there is a real fire. And I'm going to never, in any circumstance, tamper with fire alarm equipment. I mean, if you mess around with fire alarms at school, you're going to get in big trouble. You're going to get expelled, possibly even arrested. And you're going to have to pay a lot of money because you're going to have to replace the alarm. This is a very serious thing. So do not ever tamper with fire alarm equipment. I mean, if you paint the fire alarm, you have to replace it. I mean, if you paint the fire alarm won't work anymore to notify people that there's an emergency, and that is not good. So that is why you don't ever paint the fire alarm. I mean, if you want to do it with your own alarm in your private collection, that is totally fine. But if you're doing it with an alarm in school or in public in general, that is not okay. So you don't ever paint fire alarms in public. You don't ever vandalize fire alarms. You don't ever pull them. You don't ever tamper with them in any way. I mean, I'm not responsible for your actions. Remember, leave the fire alarm the way it is. And never tamper with it, and only pull it if there is a real fire. Bye!